We need to talk. Just what are you doing? I feel as if car dealers are desensitized about what it feels like to buy a car. The biggest mistake that I see them make, or for that matter, most businesses in general, is that they forget what it feels like to be their customer. You're so used to existing in that daily grind, wanting those leads, desiring those phone numbers while pushing that vehicle for the most money, that you fail to consider what it's like to be on the other end of your aggression to close. Dealers spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on branding campaigns. Have you ever asked yourself, what is branding? Marty Neaumeier began as a graphic designer and copywriter in the 1970s. In 1984, when the Macintosh launched, he moved to Silicon Valley to help companies like Apple and Netscape, HP, Adobe, and Google build their brands. According to Marty, your brand isn't what you say it is, it's what they say it is. Recently, I witnessed a commercial for Vroom. Well, they're coming for you. Leave pushy salesmen and dealership theatrics behind and buy your next car from Vroom. Never go to a dealership again? The video is like a scene from a slasher movie. Let's talk about what it is that creates a brand. A brand is not a logo. A brand is not a product. A brand is not a promise. A brand is not really the sum of all the impressions it makes on an audience. A brand is, in short, a result. It's a person's gut feeling about a product, service, or company. It's in their heads and in their hearts. A brand is your reputation. A brand is a result of how you tell your story, your pitch, your claim. A brand is what happens in people's heads after they experience it. Take your website, for example. What is with all the pop-ups? If I'm a customer trying to decide what car I'm going to buy, I don't want my view obstructed. For some customers, it's like playing a game of whack-a-mole. Are you serving the right ads to the right audience? It's not impressions, but rather the impression you make that matters most to your brand. Most dealers don't change how they display the cars online until there's a problem with the lot service. And they also make the assumption of thinking that all video is the same. That is the biggest mistake they'll make with regard to how their inventory is perceived online and eventually impacts their brand. Measuring the effectiveness of branding and what medium you use for your online inventory for many is difficult to measure for ROI. But you can measure this in terms of engagement with customers from year to year. You can measure how people move up, how they regard your company with a formula from the book, The Brand Flip. I loved Marty Neaumeier's explanation from his book. At the bottom of the ladder is satisfaction, which, well, let's face it, it's a pretty low bar these days. In other words, the company did what they said. Maybe I'll buy again. The next step up is delight, where customers are surprised by how cool it is to engage with your company and will tell their friends. Next is engagement. As a customer, you say, I love this company and I feel like I belong. And top of the ladder is empowerment, where the customer feels their life wouldn't be as good without your brand. Customer engagement leads to loyalty, and loyalty leads to higher profits. What is your dealership doing to contribute to your customer's life to make that happen? Contact me for more ways to improve customer engagement and how customers perceive your brand.